Hello. Welcome back to the latest and greatest episode of my daily Mewgenics run series. I'm gonna jump straight into it because I'm kind of fed up to have lost the last two runs I did, and I kind of want to go try hard mode today. So as usual, looking at the stats of my cats and deciding what colors I'm going to give them. But yeah, I mean, last two times were really, I mean, the last time wasn't that bad. I just lost to a boss, the graveyard boss, so at least that's like understandable. But the time before that was really shameful, and I really don't want to stay here on 2 losses, and I don't want to make it 3, even though, 3 is the key, but like at some point you kind of want to start winning, as Charlie Sheen once said. So this time I'm going to use items. I'm going to look profoundly and deeply at the passives I have and the spells I got. So let's look at Gordogno. Are we still playing in Italian, by the way? What the fuck is this name? Whatever. Synthesize, +1 intelligence at the start of each turn. That is actually great, because my mage doesn't start with good intelligence at all, which is a mistake. Whatever. That's good as well. So what could I give my guy? I should increase intelligence if I can, obviously, which it doesn't seem that I can. I mean, looking at everything and I own, it doesn't seem like it. So I'm going to look at you now. Gravity Falls. Your basic attacks deals +1 damage for each tile you should be on range 3. That is quite nice. And summoning a familiar. Do I not have something for that? No, don't care about that. Start with a bomb. That is always very nice for someone who is ranged, because bombs are ranged, obviously. This one I'm going to keep for later in the game. Bling. I think. Oh my god! If I remove 2 movements from my guy, he's not gonna be able to move anymore. Spawn a chart. Don't care. At the start of your turn, spawn. Yeah. After every 3rd spell, I should give this to someone who has a lot of cheap spells, which is not the case for Theories. Yeah. Charm dips. Well done. Charm dips at the end of each round. That's. I guess I should actually like give him everything familiar related, so that, because I know the hunter does have familiar related passives, which I think could be useful. I'm not going to give him the leech because I don't think he's going to be using it a lot, because he has only 2 spells that are each 7 mana expensive. Though using the leech and the 2 of spades on someone who has spells that cost 1 or 2 mana could be a great synergy. This is to move again, so that's not really what I'm looking for. You are going to skip. I'm going to give you some defense, if you don't mind, obviously. You have, oh my god, your spells. Everybody's spell is so freaking expensive. I mean, that's not too bad. Oh, giving dodge chances to the healer so that he can. Oh my god, 20% dodge chances. When you heal another unit, heal yourself for half that amount. That is quite nice. If you would knock back a unit instead, oh, that's perfect for a tank, obviously. If you end your turn with unused movement, gain +2 bonus moves. That is a good passive. Decent, at least. I kind of want to take this and this, but in case I find... I mean, no, never mind. Let's keep it for something that is guaranteed later. Let's give you this to give you a little bit more of survivability with 16 max HP. Okay, let's go. The focused team. I mean, that's me today. I'm going to be focused. I'm going to be playing the game. I'm not going to be yapping. I'm going to be yapping, obviously, but I'm going to try to keep this run on the rails and win. Okay. Well, that's not a good start for that. But, you know, 1 HP damage, that's not that bad. That's not that bad. Let's get you somewhere where you are not threatened, which is actually where you are right now. So not moving should be fine. I mean, this first fight really is easy. Like 5 kittens, like, come on. I know I said I wanted to win. Give me something harder than that, because I'm going to win in a round at this rate. Oh, never mind. I'm stupid. I thought this would actually deal damage, but it does not. It only does... I mean, this is for free, right? Yeah, let's go. Let's go. And I mean, that's a 1 round win. A 1 pound fish. Very, very good. 1-1 win, if you know the meme, right? 1 round win. Let's go. I got a cardboard box. Oh, before I do any of that, let's look at that guy. He heals himself. Healing people in an area is always very nice, especially if he himself is in the area, getting as even more heals. But Wrath of God, you have very good charisma as well. That allows you to be able to cast that on the second turn if you don't do anything else. Nah, let's go prayer. I think prayer is a pretty safe bet a lot of the times. Let's give you this. You need a little bit of mod, a little bit of survivability, and you don't have too much. Cordonio finds a grotesque mound of guts heaped in a large pile. What a strange sight. Let's loot that shit, you know what? As Cordonio pulls apart the largest destin, money spills out into the ground. 5 coins and 8 food. Who the fuck 8 coins? 8 of them, by the way. Jesus, okay. Butterflies. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's an easy fight, I reckon. I mean, I still need to be careful of these pewters. They can be a bit dangerous if you're not careful. Let's actually... I mean, if you wait for them, they're gonna hit you first, I feel like. Ooh, let's do a little bit of rat roulette. I have... Oh, never mind. I mean, there was a chance that I would hit them, or you know what I mean? Yes, there's a lot of maggots and flies that are 1 HP. You all are dead. That is quite a nice hit. And that's it. I can't do any more for you, obviously. Okay, yeah. Let's just skip the turn and wait for what's next. I mean, I might be trying adding a little bit too much for such an easy fight, but you know, you're considering what happened last time. I don't want to lose, and I mean, I do think you do like gather a lot of momentum at the beginning of each run. It's not really how you do at the end that matters, obviously. Your performance the entire run kind of determines your performance by the end of it. At least when you start getting to the cemetery and stuff like that, you need to start getting a bit more cautious of what you do. So that's why I'm using items this time around and being careful, you know, maybe overly, but if it means I can win the fight without getting hit even once, I'm not going to complain. I mean, 3-round win. I could have been faster, but whatever. Okay, let's try to get something that would synergize well with familiars. Spawn a trap. No. Oh, charmed though. Okay. Charmed does not technically get you familiars, but it can be pretty similar effects. Let's give you this. I don't think that's very useful to give to anybody else. Rather, I don't think getting rid of the item backstabs heal you for 2 HP. That is something to give someone who doesn't have a... everybody has a necklace already. I would give this to him because he's gonna be in the melee a lot, but everybody's gonna be facing him, obviously. You need your dodge chances, you need this because it's kind of fun. And do you really need 2? Nah, the tank doesn't have synergy with rocks anyways, so it's kind of a waste. Okay, I'm kind of giving like random items to my oh my god, in a dimly lit corner Gordonio finds an old magazine. After brushing off the dust, he discovers it's a copy of Playcat. And if you're wondering why my reaction, I mean, look at these horrendous stats. I'm gonna ignore it, hoping that it works. He got even less intelligent. That is not great for a wizard. But you know, you roll with the fine punches of Fenrir. Not my favorite team boss, I mean. But that's gonna have to do though. A bear trap, okay. Let's remember where it is. Where it is. Do I? Yes, let's go to the bushes. Okay, he's like 1 tile away from his own trap, if I recall correctly. Not anymore. I was gonna push him with the tank, but that's not going to happen. I mean, what do I do this every time? Let's wait until I pop my pill. Okay, another one here. Let's do this. Oh my goodness, let's do this. It's going to burn the bush you are residing in, and hopefully going to catch, everything is going to catch fire, and you're not going to be able, he is not going to be able to hide behind the bushes for too long. That's a L move on my part, but I can goad him into you know, getting his ass beat, if I may use such harsh language. Ready to cast your other spells by 1 mana. Okay, because yeah, it's bad for him until he gets some good spells, because his only spell right now is not that great. It's an anti-synergy with this current spell, so you know. Let's keep everybody healed up in case. Bear trap, yeah, you're getting absolutely surrounded by bear traps, my guy. That's kind of on me though. I did instruct you to go here. I'm spawning more and more flies and pooders and everything, which is always good, obviously. Though I still don't have a... Can I goad you into walking into your own traps? No, not this turn. Maybe next time. Okay. Do flies get caught in bear traps? That's something I forgot about this game. Intuitively, I would say no, but I don't remember if flying creatures have this kind of immunity. It doesn't matter because they're dead. Okay. And I kind of want my tiny flies to get caught in the bear traps because it's kind of like a free disarming, because they wouldn't have been that useful either way. Okay. My cats definitely can get caught in the bear traps, which is not a good thing. But I think if I keep spawning a bunch of people here, it's gonna get pretty hard for this Fenrir cat here to handle everybody. Nice. This time I was able to do what I wanted. This is nice. The hook is the hook, yes. The hook is really, really good. With a tank, it's also even better with a psychic. But as I said numerous times already, I have not, unfortunately, unlocked the psychic, even though it's my favorite class. But that's gonna come later. He can trap himself, yep. That's not a really smart AI if you ask me, but whatever. That's kind of good for me, to be honest. Let's heal everybody as much as I can before ending the fight, so that I can start the next part of the alley on the right foot, on the right paw, rather. I think it should be called. I should be saying on the right paw. Perfect. Oh my god, I'm just doing cat pun after cat pun. What the fuck, you know? Okay, let's look at what I can get. Well, I just said that nobody had rock synergy, and look what's coming. Trample over tiles in a straight line, destroying any inanimate object. Big rock. I'll always love big rock. It reminds me of the SpongeBob meme. It's not a boulder, it's a rock, but instead of a rock, it's the country of Iraq. It's a funny meme, old meme though. But as I said in earlier videos, I do love my older memes. Let's get this fight a bit. Let's be careful. I was gonna say let's get it over with fast, but it seems kind of dangerous considering there's this big guy, this Tom and this smaller Tom that Tom Sahur, by the way. That's not an old meme. Yeah, I do enjoy some more recent memes. But yeah, these guys can get pretty powerful, especially when you line up 3 characters in a row. They kind of start dealing a lot of damage in a very efficient way. So let's try to get them isolated, like spread out. Like you see, this is not good. This is exactly what you want to avoid fighting these guys. But you can't get them all. That's all I have to say. Thankfully, this guy regenerates intelligence at every turn, which is good because it doesn't start with a lot of intelligence. I guess he's kind of a diesel, you know, engine. Starts off slow, but builds up a lot of speed and stuff like that over the course of the fight. Even though you're not really fighting with engines, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I was right to beef that guy up because he's getting clobbered, but not getting hit for real damage, which is really nice. Let's see if the flies can do nice plays. Here we go. That's nice. Seeing these flies to really like shine. Yeah, I wish I could have finished that in 2 rounds instead of 3, but whatever. That is fine. It's not really gonna cost me too much, I don't think. Okay, it was easier than I thought, or I was better than I thought. I mean, what's telling me it's not both. Okay, black magic, drop to 1 HP, gain mana equal to HP loss. That is exactly the opposite of absorb, which is kind of fun. I could like do both in. Now I'm not gonna do that obviously because what's the point? Actually, I'm gonna do that exactly. What's the point? Fun. The point of a game is to have fun, no? So let's try to have fun. Okay, what is this? Take your turn earlier. That is really nice for you. But I do want to keep you that hook. Let's give it to you, so that if people need healing at the beginning of a fight, they can get it. Okay, strength is not useful for anybody that has a trinket slot open. A massive deformed head lies before Beethoven. Mouth agape, its single unmoving eye stares at Beethoven. Let's fight. I don't think it's... Yeah, Beethoven sneaks up to attack, but it rises and makes a terrifying sucking sound like that. So cat howls in pain as their faces are raped towards it. Each cat loses parts of their face. That's not good, is it? Yeah, that's a bad mutation. This cat has mutation, is blind. Can't eat food, okay. Same for you. And you, same for you. Okay, you're the only one who lost your sight. Everybody else lost their mouse, which I guess makes this useless for the rest of the run and these kitties. I hope I don't find good consumables, I guess. This guy being blind is annoying because he's one of the only ones that needs to hit his shots, even though it's really been bad. I hope it's... Is it gonna dissipate after one turn? I don't think so, because it is, after all, a defect of his birth. Spend all your mana and heal that much HP, and drop to 1 HP, gain mana equal to the HP loss. Let's do this. Okay, and then I healed for 21, and I can do this. You can only cast this one once per turn. Okay, I can't just fucking convert ad infinitum. Well, that's whatever. You know what? I needed to find out if I could, and I did find out. So I could have found out earlier, obviously, because it was quite clear if I had read a bit more. But whatever. Oh, I thought that was one of my pooters for some reason, even though I did not summon any. But yeah, I need to. Yeah, that's nice, I think. No, I thought that would kill you. Whatever. It's only a matter of time before. Oh, well, that's okay. Not the best move you've ever seen, but I don't mind. You're dead. Well, that's also not the best move. I love these guys without a mouth. That's kind of funny. I have no mouth yet. I'm a scream type. Beat. It's kind of funny because beat in French means cock, but in English it means something completely different. Even though like a beat also means like a musical beat in French, like when it comes to rap instrumentals, usually French people refer to the instrumental, the beat, as a beat. But it also means cock, and it makes for some quite humorous double entendre, if you know what I mean. I am very what can I say? I'm very like adept at these kind of jokes. These nuts also. 2 rounds win. I don't know what I'm saying. Like, I'm concentrating on the game and trying to speak at the same time, and I'm saying just bullshit. Let's look. Drain lock, okay. Leader, moral boost, or purifier. Your attack removes debuffs from allies. I wonder if it's going to remove the blind debuff from my wizard. What's better, makeup or some old book? I'm gonna say makeup this time, you know what I mean? Thank you for the lip gloss, guy. That's really nice. If it had been my mage, I maybe would have said old books because he really needs the smarts, but like for a tank, it's kind of whatever. Brood, oh, there you go. Your familiars and units, your charm gain +2 damage and +5 HP. Exactly what I wanted. So that is nice. My planning has been... Oh my god, Queen Hippo. Lightning bolt, I don't know if that's a reference to something, but that seems familiar. Whatever. How do I kill her this time around? Let's beat her to death, because I don't have good movements to avoid her attacks for too long. And this setup of a map is not ideal, I find, except if you have a psychic. I probably will never stop singing the praises of the psychic class in this game. It's just too good, you know what I mean? Like, it's exactly the type of what's it called, character I love to play in all these games, these tactical games and stuff like that, like Baldur's Gate and stuff. I would never like have finished Baldur's Gate in honor mode, which I did, by the way, if I did not have a bunch of like control spells. I think in my opinion, like one of the best control spells in Baldur's Gate 3, the way it's implemented in Baldur's Gate 3, to win rather easily most fights, is what's it called? It's Tentacle of Hadar. I mean, if you know of the game, you probably will recognize. I don't know if it's like a popular strategy, because I don't really consume. I never really consume Baldur's Gate 3 content, so I don't know if it's like known that is kind of OP, or if I'm the only one. I'm obviously not the only one, but maybe people just think this is like a shit tier item, spell, I mean, because sometimes I do realize that the things that I like in video games are shit tier, but I definitely think that Tentacle of Hadar is one of my favorite spell in Baldur's Gate 3, and it literally just carried me for so many fights. Like the assault on the moon, whatever, like in Act 2, the tower where the cultists are. Spoilers for Baldur's Gate 3, by the way. It carried me. Like you do a frontal assault on the tower, and like you start with some stairs going down, and the enemies, you put Tentacles of Hadar on the freaking stairs, they come up to you, you fucking beat the shit out of them. You have both an advantage because they are in some really, really shitty terrain, but you also have the advantage of height over them. Not over the ones that are in the roofs, but you know, it's still pretty... it makes it so freaking easy to win this fight. Not really that easy, because like the orc lady that's part of that fight hits really hard, and if she succeeds in some saving throws, she can become a problem for you, but you know, I'm kind of bitter about that fight, by the way, in my honor mode playthrough, because in my first few playthroughs, I did like 3 playthroughs. I think I did one with blind playthrough, like playing what I play usually, an occultist draw, and that's where I discovered the power of the Tentacles of Hadar, by the way. And I did not really know about all that Jaheira bullshit, that you could like save her and bring her to Minsk and stuff, because I was playing a blind playthrough, you know, obviously. And then I did the Dark Urge playthrough with where I tried to take control of the brain, and obviously I had to join the cultists at first, so I killed her. I killed Jaheira in camp, in the moonlight, whatever. Hang on, let's gain 2 shield when you take damage from an ability. That's nice. Let's go Junkyard, by the way. This is what I'm trying to do this time. I'm trying to take my revenge on my maggot. Let's hope it's possible. But yeah, and my third honor playthrough, like, that was not my third playthrough technically, because I had done a lot of run that had gone quite far in honor mode, but I lost at some key moment of the game, which but by the time I reached like my victorious honor playthrough, I was quite familiar with the game and everything it had to offer. So I was like, I'm going to try to save Jaheira this time, and I completely failed, unfortunately, because, I mean, the attack on this tower is already not that easy, but like Jaheira kind of is suicidal in that fight. I mean, I get that she's like very passionate about her cause and stuff like that, but she barely tried to survive, and even with my healing from Shadowheart, it was quite difficult to keep her alive, to the point where she eventually died, and I could never reunite her with Minsk, unfortunately. But you know, that's quite fine at the end of the day. I still can put up the game anytime I want and do it if I want to. I still need to. I have only one achievement that I haven't gotten on Baldur's Gate 3 in this game. It's saving all the tieflings from the camp, and I mean, for the same reason, basically, on my first playthrough, I didn't even know that it was a thing. On my second playthrough, I slaughtered them all. I'm not. I mean, to you know, get in bed with Mintara, you have to kill them. Well, you don't have to, but I thought I had to. And then on my third playthrough, they died, and I could not during the assault on the grove, so I could not get that achievement, and I guess I could start a fourth playthrough, but I know the game like I know the back of my hand by now, and I need a few years before I run it back. Hopefully the Divinity Original Sins 3 is going to be as good, and I'll be able to enjoy this kind of gameplay again, because from a brand new perspective. But you know, let's not jinx it by talking about it too much. I already talked about it a lot last time. But yeah, in terms of games, I've been playing something that was unexpectedly really like one of the best game I've played so far. Nier Replicant, which is a remake of the original Nier game that came out on Xbox, and I am a big fan of Nier Automata. It's one of my favorite games, and I had never played original Nier, because I did not have an Xbox growing up. I am too young for that, and because it was kind of like only available there, not available on PC and stuff like that, kind of never played it, got around to it, you know what I mean? And but then the remake came out on PS5 and PS4. I think it was PS4 actually, but obviously you can play it on PS5. And I was expecting, you know, I love Nier Automata, so I had quite high expectations of Nier, because, you know, hang on, I'll get back to that real quick. Your allies have plus mana regeneration when an ally spends 7 plus mana to cast spells. Again, all stats up. That's really nice. Yeah, I had quite a lot of high expectation considering how much I liked Nier Automata. But I was, you know, tempering them because, you know, it's an older game. It's quite more bare bones, and really, I thought, how great can it be? Because nobody talks about it ever. At least I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. Not nearly as much as the Automata, right? But I must say that's probably one, as I said earlier, that's probably one of the best games I've ever played so far. In terms of, I mean, everything. I don't know if gameplay-wise it doesn't come near Automata, its successor, obviously, in my opinion. Nier Automata is quite a nice hack and slash, but you can definitely see where they come from, because it's really nice, even though it's not as as it's not as deep in Nier, the gameplay, as far as I am right now. I obviously have not done with the game, but I've unlocked a few of my spells. What are they called? The sealed verses. I've unlocked quite a lot of sealed verses for now. So I do think I've unlocked also a lot of words to enchant my weapons and spells. So I think also in the beginning you have the ability to in the tutorial test out a lot of what the combat has to offer as a sort of tutorial, and it doesn't, even the RPG elements are not as deep as in Nier Automata, but let's not compare them too much, because in my opinion, while Nier was quite it really, for me, it took like narrative, video game narratives to the next level in terms of first how it tells its story, because the story it tells is not that. I guess it's interesting, definitely, and I'm not saying it isn't, but it's not a brand new story. If you've read sci-fi, a lot of sci-fi and stuff like that, it definitely tells it in a very innovative way, in my opinion. The concept of an AI overlord pretending to be human and stuff like that is probably quite new in itself, but the concept of evil robots and stuff like that, even like do robots have a soul, and like the themes it brings are really interesting, but it's, in my opinion, it's the way it treats and tells its story that is really, really great. To be honest, like when I played the game and I got done with like 2B's side of the story, I was like, that's nice, that's really nice, and then I was like, is that it? But then you play the entire game again as A2 and not A2. What's the name of the kid? The guy. A2 with the other girl, which is not like she's also a Yora, but she's not under the control of humanity. What's the guy's name? 2C? 3C? I don't remember. But whatever. You play the entire game again according to his perspective. And 2B's and this guy's perspective are not that different because they spent most of the game together. But the fact that they're able to convey different feelings and stuff like that, that's not something that's done in video games that much, because obviously story games are a bit probably scared to try to do that, because at first when I started playing as him, I was like, I have to do that all again? Thankfully they Trampy, I fucking hate that guy. But yeah, I was like, I'm going to have to do that all again. Thankfully the gameplay, and the fact that they were able to make people play the same game twice basically is a testament to how good the gameplay is, truly, but also to how they're able to tell a story in a very innovative way in terms of gaming, in my opinion. And that's really what caught me with the game, because you even start playing the same game according to another perspective later on, which is much different than the two others. So you're not really playing the same game, but it's definitely like similar. And obviously it's the same world, it's the same characters and stuff like that. But that's what I really enjoyed about Nier Automata. And I was not expecting that as much in this one, and actually I got it even better. Like the way this game, like Nier Replicant, just Nier, tells its story is, in my opinion, like really, 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 really like interesting. Really, really interesting. I'm not like I don't think I'm nearly done with the game, like, by the way. It might get very, very, like, lame and boring by the end. I don't know, you know what I mean? But so far, I'm in the Forest of Myth, trying to cure the death dream. Well, I mean, I've done it. I'm trying to, once you cure the death. Spoilers for Nier, by the way, the fucking 20-year-old game, but curing the people of this town in this, like, I mean, if you watch this channel, I'm a fervent defender of text-based things, and basically this action RPG turns into a text-based RPG, like, for just this mission, basically, because I don't think it's gonna come back at any point. The same way that, like, periodically Nier turned into a shoot 'em up, and I think that's this kind of thing is, in my opinion, like, the kind of experimenting that AAA studios should do. I mean, because Nier Automata and Nier were released by Square Enix, which are AAA studios. So, like, if these games, if Yoko Taro can do it, why is not, like, the rest of gaming AAA studios not doing it? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, I know why, because Yoko Taro kind of has, like, a reputation, you know what I mean? Like, he's able to experiment because he's not necessarily seen as a way to make money for Square Enix, but also a way to advance the art form of video game. Unfortunately, a lot of people who have the same ideas as him and concepts and stuff like that do not get the chance that he gets, because they don't have his reputation, you know what I mean? And it's kind of hard to make a reputation for yourself. I find, I think at least, in the current video game industry, especially in the AAA world, because it's a lot of, you know, employees tend to be seen as recyclable, like disposable is what I'm saying. Is the word I'm thinking of. So, you know. But I still love his game design and storytelling. And I think, I mean, it is really great in Nier, because it's also a game that's not afraid to confuse you. Nier Automata does that as well a lot, not as much, I find. I think, at least, because even though, like, you have all these dialogues with mysterious guys like Adam and all these people, like, and it's quite cryptic. Like, it's not explained for you, you know what I mean? Like, you cannot get it, you kind of understand, but it's not like they're not afraid to lose a few people, you know? If you're just playing to turn your brain off and beat people up, I mean, you're gonna love that game because the gameplay is great, but also, like, and I think that's something that's game studios don't really do, you know what I mean? If they want to experiment in storytelling, they don't make great gameplay, and usually I don't want to play it. And a lot of people who like to experiment in great gameplay, I mean, understandably so, don't really care for story. But I find that this series is able to do both very well. So, you know, really, really loving it. Like, the whole text-based text-based RPG and everything. That was not that bad, by the way, this fight. I thought it would be harder. I usually struggle against him, but this time I got either lucky or played my cards well. What was I saying? Yes. So yeah, the Forest of Myth is kind of what I'm thinking right now, because that's what I'm going through. But, like, you start in modern day time, right? And then, without much explanation, you go back to a time that's very much medieval style, and they speak of an ancient civilization that I guess, is modern day civilization, very much like Metaphor Fantasio, if you've played that. And but like you know that the main character, I forget his name. Vice is the book, and the main guy is, oh crap, I forgot. Whatever. Alan. I want to say Alan, but that's definitely not Alan. That's just an American name. But whatever. Whatever the main guy's name is, and his sister, which I also forgot her name. I realized that I find that his sister's name sounds like Yora, so I can't really get that out of my head, thinking that it might be related. Probably not though, because maybe that's just my brain thinking they sound alike when nobody else think that way either. But I forgot their name basically. I just know the book's name. And Kyih is the girl. That's all. Because it's a cool name. It sounds like Greek. The Greek word for the Greek language, koine. Well, it's technically it's not the only Greek language. It's like a lingua franca Greek, but whatever. That's linguistics considerations. That's really whatever. But yeah. I really like the fact that you're, without any explanation, brought back to the past. And in this, I mean, I don't know if it's the present relative to the narrative of the game, but definitely in present time for us, for the viewer, for the player, you're completely scared of the book, which we later find out is Vice and is actually supposed, according to at least this legend, to save the world and to maybe be able to stop the black scroll and stuff like that. So why are we in the past, and why were we scared of the book in the past? There's definitely a reason, but the book obviously doesn't seem that. I mean, it's a bit annoying and rude, but like as far as it goes, but he's also forgot everything that he knows. So maybe he's evil and we don't know, and maybe there is no good and bad book, and they're both the book is both good and bad. I don't know. So these are kind of like theories that have been running through my head as I play it, and I love games that make me think like that, but also like have great gameplay, because I need something to do, you know. I can't just be like reading or watching a movie. I mean, I could watch a movie, but like at this point when I'm playing a game, if it's just a movie, you know what I mean, whatever. That's not the point I'm trying to make now. So yeah, really, 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 really fan of this. And I'm quite looking forward to see where it goes, to be honest. I hope I'm not going to be let down and it's not going to be lame. But I mean, having loved Nier Automata, I don't think it could go wrong. I'm kind of also... Why are you eating your own friend, bro? I'm also like wondering how it connects to the main game, if it does at all. Not to the main game, to the later game, to Automata, if it does at all. Because so far, I'm not... I mean, they definitely share a visual identity, but I think that more from the fact that it's made by Yoko Taro, not necessarily because it's the same place. There's also like... I mean, Nier Automata is sci-fi, and like... This game does not touch sci-fi at all. It's like either fantasy and medieval stuff or modern time, basically. So I wonder where it's gonna get into the sci-fi aspect, if it's going to get into it at all. Obviously, I mean, the only robots I've met so far are the one defending the old factory, which are obviously the remnants of this old civilization, which is probably our civilization, like real world player civilization. Probably Japan, because all these games kind of modeled around Japan. I think I feel like at least a lot of the same way that games made in the US portray worlds that are modeled around the US. Whenever you fall asleep, I mean, there's definitely no deserts in Japan, so what the fuck am I saying anyways? Whenever you fall asleep, gain all stats up. That's useless because I'm not going to fall asleep yet. At least, if I find something that lets me fall asleep, obviously I'll consider it, I guess. But what else is there to say about that? Not much. Let me think. I mean, I don't know if it's the case, but I feel like this game is kind of sometimes baiting me to not be around with my sister, you know what I mean? Like, it's testing me, definitely. Like, there's a lot of time where you can either run around, like, your sister is like, oh, please stay with me today, I don't want to be alone, and stuff like that, and you can choose what you do. Either you're like, sorry, I have to help you, and I have to go out and do whatever, fucking talk to my book friend, and or you can just stay around with her. And I've had this choice to make twice, and every time I've chosen to stay with my sister, and I hope it's something, at least it's definitely like raises some question whether anything of what you're doing is like the good thing, or if it's just here to look to, you know, like make you feel more immersed as an older brother to this kid. But either way, I like it. A thing that I hope it's going to bring up in its thematics later as the game progresses on, and I don't think it's going to, but I might be wrong. And what makes me think it's going to is that, I mean, okay, the issue I hope it's going to bring up is because so far every time I've used the Silverses in a cutscene, almost every time, and it's made a point to show me that I almost killed someone or destroyed innocents. Like the first time you used your Silverses when trying to break the what's it called, to kill the guards guarding your sister that's been kidnapped. I don't know, that she ran away and she got herself in a predicament. and you try to kill the guards, robot guards that kept her captive. Well, the first time that you do that, you almost kill her on accident using your powers a bit willy-nilly and not paying too much attention to what you're doing and being really in the fight rather than thinking about her safety, or rather being immature, you know what I mean? Like confusing speed and hurriness. Like you're really just being a bit reckless is what I think is the best way to describe it. And you almost kill her, you know, one of your darts, like energy, whatever darts, almost hits her. And the game makes a very a point to show you that they zoom on the thing and they're like, oh my god, sorry, I almost killed you, whatever. And then when you kill the biggest shadow in the Airy village with Kyih, the monster like destroys the village. Obviously, they use their tail thing to grab houses and stuff. But you also, like, with your shadow hand, you take the monster and send it flying into the houses of the inhabitants of the area. You know what I mean? You're again being a bit immature and reckless, in the same way that, you know, Kyih is being as well at that point. But I mean, the fact that she's pretty like immature and how could I say, like not arrogant, but foolhardy, I guess is one way to say it, is not like hidden from the player. But I feel like the main character is as foolhardy and a bit you know, not necessarily thinking everything out before he does. He hacks which I mean he's a kid, so that makes sense, and also he's put in situations which are pretty hard to think during. But what I'm saying is that I hope that, I hope that it's something that's touched upon later, and I think I'm pretty sure it's going to, because this whole intro sequence where you're begging your sister to say don't touch that book and don't do anything with it, and you're like looking at the book saying, if I could use its power I would be able to help her, why should I do it, and stuff like that. You're really conflicted on using that book. So that shows that the game wants you, at least definitely does, make you think about the reason and the consequences, the potential consequences that might be negative of using this power, which and this is in the intro scene that's like that happens during like current day, kind of like a modern era city, and that's where you're like, don't do this, don't touch it, it's evil, like it's going to, and then you use it, right? Because you need to protect your sister and you need to do something rash to help her. But after you go into like this medieval timeline, you don't really questioning it at all, because you don't know. But I'm thinking that this intro scene might be some sort of like flash forward, or rather the rest of the game is a flashback, I guess. And at some point when I follow the main story, I'm going to realize that the use of Vice or any other dark book that might resemble Vice is negative and is dangerous and is not necessarily for the better good, and maybe using Vice might make the Black Scroll worth or whatever. I don't know yet, but for some reason at that time he seems to think it's bad to use it, and I think we're going to discover slowly why. And maybe something like Vice is going to remember something, like to recover his memory, which is going to turn him evil or something like that. I don't know, right? But that's definitely something to keep in mind, and that I wish could be that I think is going to be touched upon definitely as I progress through the game. And I mean, it's a very old game, so I could just look it up, but you know, that's not fun. Doing that would ruin the point of the game, obviously, of playing it at least. But you know, he also seems to be like, he seems to be wary of the book, but like to also not know what it is. So maybe he lost his memory, or maybe it's like, because when you're investigating the Death Dream, the people of whatever the name of the forest is, one of the people you meet in one of the dreams acts like they know you from before. And I do think that one other possibility is that the intro scene of the game happens in some sort of real, quote unquote, like this is the real world, and everything that's happening in this medieval is like some sort of hallucination that the main character is having, or living in some sort of dream, you know. And I thought that the Forest of Myth arc was leading to that. Obviously, it's not. It did not lead to that at all. But that's what the kind of feeling, because like maybe the old man that you meet in the Forest of Myth of the Mayor's Dream is someone from the present day, and he's only able to like meet you in this weird in-between world, in between realities, where you're not, like, you know what I mean, like being in the dream. Because I mean, there's also the fact that both the main character and his sister got a dream where people were calling to them. maybe that was just foreshadowing for the Forest of Myth arc, which I mean could definitely be, and I mean it would be understandable, but it could also be a bit more general, you know what I mean? So let's see. I'll see. Obviously, I'll keep playing, but I'm quite intrigued by this game. It's one of those games that really makes you think about the story and stuff like that. It's been a while since I've played one of those games. Like the last game I played with a real story, I guess. I mean, Mewgenics has a real story, but like that's not. It's not a story-driven game. The last game I played with this kind of story-driven kind of like focus was what's it called? The Outer Worlds 2? Yes, I always confuse the Outer Worlds and the Outer Wilds, but this is the Outer Worlds that I've been playing, the sci-fi RPG where you play as a guy that's like part of a Earth Defense Force type organization and trying to save the galaxy from its certain demise. And it's a really, I mean, I love these games. I loved Outer Worlds 1, even though it was panned by the critic, but I personally love everything Obsidian makes. I know people say like they fell off after making Fallout New Vegas. Like a lot of people didn't like Avowed as well, or at least it got mixed reviews. And Outer Worlds was also kind of like people didn't love it. Definitely didn't love it as much as Fallout New Vegas, but I did love everything, all games they've made since Fallout New Vegas, in my opinion. Like they're all really, really good. I love Fallout New Vegas. It's my favorite Fallout. I love Avowed. I love the Outer Worlds, and I love the Outer Worlds too. And as much as the Outer Worlds has made me like think and stuff like that in a very interesting way as well, is not necessarily the main story that I'm like thinking about. The main story is more like a conduit through which you meet interesting characters and factions and stuff like that. You're not really like sure you want to save the galaxy, like obviously, but meeting all these different factions, the Protectorate, no, you're the Earth Protectorate, that's right, the Directorate, all these, the Order, Anti-Clio, obviously, but that's a recurring faction, so you're not completely discovering it if you've played, obviously, the first game, but which was my case, obviously. That's nice. Another familiar spawning thing. I really think the familiars are really carrying me this run, because they're nice. They're taking the aggro and stuff like that, and if I meet Mama Maggot, that's going to be something where she doesn't overflow me with her own shit, because I also have my own familiars, you know what I mean? But yeah, I really like their game design and their characters and their worlds are very colorful, funny and stuff like that, but the main story of Avowed, while it is interesting and what I want to know what happens next, the gameplay really took over for me. It was really fun, and the characters were fine as well, but definitely not up to the level of other games, but you know, still fun. And so, you know, yeah, what was I saying? Yes, the appeal of these games for me is discovering the factions in the world and stuff like that. The main story is only like a pretense to meet them, and obviously it is in some way it is in near as well, the events of the game, but it's story focused, but not like according to the traditional, I guess, like narrative structure of a story. Like you don't, in Nier so far, I have not had any like clear main goal besides like just accumulating the different Silververses, which every time you find a new Silververse, you have a kind of traditional story structure to what's going on naturally. But like the overarching story of what's going on, there is so far none. You want to heal your sister, but you don't know before she was sick, so it's not really like, oh, she got sick, I need to start something. It's more like, she's sick, okay, I need to find a way. And there is not like a great villain, you're fighting a disease, so obviously there's no one to blame for that. As far as I know, maybe that's not true, but it's probably not true. I don't think a character is giving people this disease, definitely. Maybe the book, but I haven't made it yet. I'm being a tiny bit careful here because my mage is dead already, and though these guys are usually not that scary, I'm getting kind of my ass beat here, so I need to be a bit more careful. But yeah, so it's really nice to play this kind of story game, because I mean, there's lots of really good story games out there, but most of them I really don't want to play because it's like, you're just telling me a story like without making me play a game. You know what I mean? It's like, for instance, I like to think about the quantum games. They probably have, I mean, they have stories that I hear are good. I personally find them a bit corny, but if you think they're good, like, they are. But even though I want to experience them in some way, I find myself really just not being able to get into them because the gameplay is minimalist at most. You know what I mean? Like, it's QTEs are gameplay indubitably, but it's not really what I'm not even looking to be challenged, but or depth or something like that. But it's not a gameplay that's going to keep me hooked through the part of the games that are maybe a little less interesting to me. You know what I mean? Like, some games you're like, yeah, this story is good, and I want to know what's next, but this particular part of the story is kind of boring me. But if the gameplay is good, you're gonna, follow through, play the game anyways, because it's fun. And then you get to the part of the story, another part of the story that's more interesting, and you're like, yeah, the gameplay got kind of dull, but I want to know what happens next. It's kind of what happened to me with Avowed, you know what I mean? At first, I really liked the gameplay, and that's what kept me coming back, etc., and stuff like that. But as I got better, I started, just killing everybody like very easily, and the gameplay got kind of dull. And I was like, but I kind of want to know what happens next. I want to know what's up with the Dream Scourge. I want to know what happens with this Inquisitor Ludwin. So I might as well finish the game. But with games like quantum games, maybe they have an interesting story that makes me want to come back. They definitely don't have the gameplay though, and usually maybe the hook of the story is nice, so you play it through. But then the story might... I think Everrain is really good at that, because the start of the game is insanely fucking boring. So, but they kind of like prepare you for something that's, at least things happen in this game, like a lot. And there's some element of gameplays. But like with Detroit Become Human, I think they kind of lost the sauce, in my opinion. But I mean, I don't think that the gameplay in Neverwin is anything comparable to Nier, but at least it's not deathly boring, I guess. Even though it kind of is, to be honest. But I'm trying my best not to shit on these games, but I have a hard time understanding why people like them. except for the corny aspect. I love watching like Northern Lion play them. I'm not gonna lie. Even these Super Giant games, Directive 8020, kind of a shit game, kind of a shit themes and story and stuff like that. I really hated the stories, the characters, everything. He seemed to like the story. I really didn't like it. But obviously, to each their own. But just like watching him play it and suffering through it and like was kind of fun. So these are games that I don't usually play myself, but watch people play, and the gameplay, as I said, is not that crazy that you need to play them to get a sense of what they are. Like you can watch someone play Tetris and play Tetris yourself. It's two different experiences. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but you need kind of like, if you want to know what it feels like to play Tetris, you need to play Tetris. If you want to know what it feels like to watch people play Tetris, you need to watch people play Tetris. You can't just, like, if you want to experience both, you need to experience both. But if you're playing a Super Giant game, like, or watching someone play a Super Giant game, it's kind of like a very similar experience, especially if you're playing with friends. Like, you know what I mean? You're also going to make fun of the game and or get really involved in the game and like make theories and stuff like that, which might happen if with some streamers and YouTubers, and that's so that's why I think these games are kind of like, while I don't like them in the sense that I will never play any, I do love watching people play them. So I think these are good games anyways, just not to be, I just don't like experiencing them in the same way that I like experiencing like a game like Cruelty Squad. Like Cruelty Squad is one of my favorite game ever. And I love watching people play it because I love seeing the reaction to the universe, the world, the graphics, the gameplay, everything. But I'm not really like, you know, I'm not getting the same feelings as when I'm playing it myself. Whereas I feel like House of Ashes or everything like that, like I used to watch, I've been watching Northern Lion play them. I've been watching like It's Josh, the streamer, play them. I've been watching Slime Seagull play them. Like I can watch different people play them as much as I can play Cruelty Squad a few different times, you know what I mean? Like they have replayability in the sense that I can watch different people play them. It's going to be a different experience. But playing them myself, I might just close the game after 30 minutes. You know what I mean? It's boring. Maybe if I play them with friends, obviously it would be different. But that's not really the kind of game I enjoy anyways. Neither do my friends. So, you know, kind of an interesting maybe perspective to have on these games. If you're really against these games, like I used to be, I'm not really that against them. I do like them, as I said, but I used to be like really like against them in a way. That's not the case anymore. And if you're really against them, like, you know what, I hope you can get a little bit more enjoyment. And maybe you don't even like watching people play them, and that's fine as well. That's fine. It's just not for everybody. Okay, it's Mama Mega time. I'm gonna cry myself to death, I think, with this one. I really hate this boss, and I hate the graveyard, and I hate Dybbuk as well. He's also such a difficult boss as well. Like, this one is a bit difficult, and it's not the last of your fucking suffering. You know what I mean? I'm not even halfway. I mean, I am literally just halfway through the game, through the level. But it feels like the worst is yet to come, even though this is evil. But I'm not going to complain and cry. I'm going to try to beat the ass out of this freaking maggot. This making... Oh no, I'm not gonna say that. That reminds me of something that a type of wordplay that is used to be very popular in France and still is in some way. Not that much. I feel like it's kind of like seen as vulgar and stuff like that, so people don't like it as much. But it's a type of wordplay where the premise of it is really simple. Is you take a sentence where that can be read in two ways. One way, which is completely innocuous, but when you swap two or more sounds in the words that are in the sentence, they start revealing a secret meaning, you know what I mean? Some sort of, usually it's quite vulgar, and it's a type of wordplay, like, you know, you come up with these, contrepétries they're called, and it's both a writing exercise in a way, because they might be difficult to write and come up with, but it's also like kind of a wordplay that you know a few, then you just tell them at like parties, or you tell them to your friends and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Most of the ones I know, and I bought my brother has a book on them where he has a collection of them that we found in it's called the Bible of contrepétrie, and it's really funny because to call it a Bible where, you know, the Bible supposedly is something that's holy, but what's in there is definitely not holy. I mean, it's holy in the sense that it talks about all sorts of holes relating to the human body. So I guess that it's holy in that sense, like very much in I guess your pussy is holy too, in the Jordi Grip Holy song, which is one of my favorite song for many reasons, and maybe I'll take that's something a subject for a future maybe video talking and analyzing, giving my thoughts on what this album is about, but the new sound. But yeah, what the fuck am I saying? I just keep going on like a million fucking side quests. Yes, I was telling people, you guys who don't necessarily all speak French, what a contrepétrie is, and it's just a sentence, a type of wordplay where you inverse word sounds, and I don't think it's like impossible to make in English. You know what I mean? Like you could already come out with a lot of the same type of wordplay in English, and maybe even people do. You know what I mean? But since it really doesn't really have a name, people don't think of it as a thing as much as we do in France. And it's the same for in the other way though, as limericks. You know what I mean? Like, you ask someone with French, like, what is a limerick? If they don't speak English, obviously, they're not going to be able to tell you. And it's because we don't have limericks in French. And like, the French language is perfectly able to make limericks. You know what I mean? It's just rhyming sentences with a certain, but it's very cultural to England and the US to some extent, New England, I guess, but also like to the wider United States, obviously, because it didn't stay there, but Nantucket is in New England, that's why and it's one of the most famous limericks, at least the first one I learned about. And I'm going to beat my maggot, by the way, with a maggot too. That's kind of ironic, don't you say? My magic missile spell with my wizard really carried us, I feel like, with dealing with all these little guys without having to think about it too hard. So yeah. It's the same with contrepétrie. Like, the English language is perfectly able to create one of those, and maybe even do, you know what I mean? But because nobody knows it's a thing, a specific thing, like it doesn't have a definition. Like a pun is a thing, you know what I mean? So people make up puns, and they think about it. about them. But in French, we don't have limericks. It's not a thing. Unless you learn English and you go out of your way to create a specific French limerick, you're only like mimicking a cultural form of poetry, which it's still technically a limerick, but like no French people who has no access to it is ever going to call it a specific thing. It's just going to be like a form of poetry that's funny, but it's not going to be a different thing. It makes sense, and it's the same for contrepétrise. It's a French thing that only occurs in French, as far as I know. Maybe it occurs in other languages. Obviously, they don't call it the same, but I think it's kind of funny to look at these and say like, wow, even something that you might think. Because, like, okay, let me give you a bit of context to the first, maybe, limerick I ever learned about. And I had no clue what it was at first. So, obviously, like many people, the first, probably at least, the first limerick I had ever heard was the guy from that Nantucket whose dick was so long he could suck it. But, like, I was reading Cycolonials, the visual novel that Andrew Hussey made when he got like kind of done with Homestuck in 2018, and everything, and kind of like wanted to move on with his heart and his things. So he made Cycolonials, and I read it. It's a story that happens on Nantucket, I think, either on Nantucket or around, close to Nantucket, like on the shore in Massachusetts. And they go to Nantucket at some point, the characters. And I was like, what's Nantucket? You know what I mean? Like, the what you call it? The VN doesn't mention, I don't think, the limerick, or it does, maybe. I don't remember quite, honestly. But I wanted to know what Nantucket was, because, not being from the US, it's not really something that you know about, except if you like went there, obviously, or if you have family there or stuff like that. But like, I never came across Nantucket as a place, and so I was curious because the game happens in Massachusetts, and they're like, well, we got to Nantucket. And I'm like, is that a state? Is that a city? Is that and it's an island. And on the Nantucket page, Wikipedia page, because I went to Wikipedia. The limerick is mentioned because I started reading the entire Wikipedia page for some reason. I'm stupid like that. And was like, what the fuck is that? I found it very funny because that was quite a few years ago now. And I was quite young. But I mean, it's let's be honest, it's still funny even now. But what the fuck was I saying? Oh my god, I keep losing my train of thoughts. It's quite late right now. And I mean, it's going to be released even later, and I've been working all day, so I'm kind of like trying not to miss another day, but to the cost of my mental health. And this run is just not dying, which is good, but I enjoy sometimes when they die, because at least I can, go back to rotting and not resting after work. But whatever. Yeah, so I discovered what limericks were because of Andrew Hussey visual novel. Like, that's not that interesting as of a story that I think about it. But yeah, just to say that it's part of the culture shock. You know what I mean? And I found it so funny. I was like, that's sad that we don't have that in French. And I had to share with people, but like people around me, the ones that speak English don't really have the context of why I find it funny. I mean, it is funny in and of itself, obviously, but it's funnier when you happen upon it yourself. You know what I mean? Like, when people are telling you about it, it's not as funny. And like other people around me don't speak English, so it's a bit hard to explain. Obviously, if you translate it and it doesn't rhyme anymore, it doesn't have like a specific rhythm, and it's like it talks about somewhere that you don't know existed before, stuff like that. It's kind of jarring. You know what I mean? So it's not that interesting, and you can go over the context as much as you want. Like, it's not don't think it's going to work if people you tell about don't speak English at all. So, but yeah, limericks, guys, crazy now. I love limericks. I don't actually know a lot of limericks. I know the one from with the guy from Nantucket, obviously. That's whose dick was so long he could suck it. But I think there's a lot of other stanzas to this one, right? Let's go on Wikipedia and read some limericks as I play, because this is like the. Hang on. Actually, let me read through the French Wikipedia page for limericks. What do they say? A limerick is a funny poem of English origin of 5 rhymed verses, rhymes with rhyme scheme A A B B A, usually about vulgar themes. I don't know how to translate that word. Irrévérencieux, irreverent, or anti-clerical. I did not know about that aspect of the genre. They give a few examples on the French Wikipedia page. What are the examples the French Wikipedia editors thought good to include to give the average French reader the idea of what a limerick is? That's quite funny. Okay. Oh my god. The first one is really just... It's not... okay. The second one is a nursery rhyme, actually. So not that much, really. I mean, technically it's a limerick, but it's not like only a limerick. It's Hickory Dickory Dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 1, the mouse ran down, Hickory Dickory Dock. You know what I mean? You know that one. But the other one talks about a lady from Niger who smiled as she rode on a tiger. They came back from the ride with the lady inside and the smile on the face of the tiger. At first I just read the word Niger from afar and I was like, oh my god, please don't be racist. But no, it's not. It's not. It's just the country Niger. But that got me off guard. So not the classic Nantucket example, which makes sense because I don't think people really know about that place in France. So the Wikipedia editor did well to not mention it. At least not give it as an example. There's a few other examples, but whatever. Oh, hang on. There's a guy which wrote a lot of French limericks. Jacques Barbeau, writer and poet, born in 1960, the year of our Lord 1960, in the north of France. He's dead. No, never mind. He's 66 years old. He's not even that old. I don't care what he wrote in his lifetime, at least. So he wrote Alice in Zanzibar, 238 limericks, followed by their rules and a postface and an index. Okay. So I guess this is like kind of 2017. Okay, it's really recent actually. It came out in 2017. Okay. So I guess limericks are making their way to French culture somehow. Okay, that's fun. I just learned that. I mean, yeah, as I said, nothing about French tells you that you can't make a limerick. It's just it's just like cultural. So that makes sense. He seems to be a writer that's kind of like a guy that writes about things like that. Sans titre is his first, which means no title, is the name of his first book. Okay, Junkyard Notebook is one of his other books. So I guess he's the type of guy that doesn't give a crap. A as Anything, Anthology of the Letter A, is another one of his books. Okay, I think he's kind of cool. He seems to be a cool guy. Oh, well, at least from yeah, maybe he's not, but what he writes is kind of cool. Okay. Good little discovery. Good little discovery. Ooh, I did not know that in German and Russian had similar things to limericks. Okay, in German they're called Schüttelreim. Oh yeah, rhyme. Is a poetry format in German. Oh, it's actually just a German contemporary, actually, the way they're describing it. That's fun. Let me play the game real quick, because I can't just make this a Wikipedia episode. I need to play the game. But yeah. Oh, it's as old as the 13th century. And it's in like Faust. Okay, it's old. Really cool. They give an example, but though I don't speak German, so eine Wagen fuhr in Gossensaas durch ein tiefes Soßengas, sodass die ganze Gassensoße sich über die Insassen goes. Okay, I kind of get it. I don't understand what it's saying, but I kind of get the appeal. It sounds kind of fun. You kind of want to hear it said correctly, almost. Let me finish my turn, and I'm gonna try to say it again, but like in a better. Now that I know what it says. I did study a little bit of German, so even though I'm not sure what it means, I can at least make it justice by reading it properly. Ein Wagen fuhr let me try again. Ein Wagen fuhr in Gossensaas durch ein tiefe Soßengas, sodass die ganze Gassensoße sich über die Insassen goes. Okay. A car rode in Gossensaas through a tiefe Soßengas. I don't know what that means. So that the entirety of Gassensoß, the city, and I don't understand it, so that the entire city, something went with themselves. I don't know. I don't understand the rest of the sentence, but you know, I tried. Oh, there was translation. A car drove in Gossensaas in a deep and muddy passage, so that the entire source of this passage wound up all over the occupants. Okay, it doesn't work as well in English, but you know, or at least I know what it means. I mean, what it means. Sauce means sauce. I mean, that makes sense. That's a French word in English as well. Yes, sauce is French, by the way. Dip, however, is the English word. Oh, it's telling me that there is also a similar form of poem in Hungarian called the Ketsekerim. It's close to the limerick, English limerick, and the Chastuchka Russian, Chatuchka, and yes, kind of like a contemporary, as I mentioned, except contemporary are not rhymed and do not follow a meter. So that's what makes them different. So let's look at the Russian example. Okay. Once again, I'm going to read it out in Russian and then read the translation, because I did study Russian as well. So I know something in Russian. I'm better in German than I am in Russian though. So mind that. Do mind this. Let me just play my turn here. Okay. Okay. This one is about the life of someone from Kolkhoz, which is a place in Russia, I guess. I mean, it is. I know it is. It's a republic. Whatever. Птица ефемерна и нас есть, и другая строция. Let's. Oh yeah, two pooters. I'm not gonna read them actually because it's too bad. Oh, hang on. There's one about having a boner. Let me read the one. If the Soviet globe, no, on the Soviet globe, the hour pass. A nice trick. I was having a boner in my bed. Now I have a boner in the bus. Okay, it's about time change. The time, change. It's funny because, it's the same moment, but technically they have to change. So now he has a boner on the bus. That's funny. I mean, that's... Oh my god, I did not even notice that my mage died. Crap! I was so focused on all this bull crap because I just noticed that there's another thing. Never mind, it's not the same. Okay, I wanted to look at the Hungarian version though. I wanted to look at the Hungarian version. Is that so wrong of me? Oh, you're lucky they don't have a Wikipedia page for the Hungarian version. Otherwise, I would have been there for at least 20 more minutes reading this kind of bullshit. Okay, so let's concentrate on the game and stop talking about this type of bullshit, even though it's very interesting to me. Okay. What I really hate about this boss is the whole you can't hit. That's what I hate about this boss. And I mean, I know it's going to be a fight that lasts for fucking at least 20 minutes, and I'm probably gonna lose anyways. You know what I mean? I really, really hate that guy. That Dybbuk guy. I can probably hit him with a bomb if I play my cards well. Well, my bombs well. Let's put a little bit of glass here, shall we? Let's put this here. And he does not have anywhere to go besides... Oh, never mind, I can't hit him from here. I miscalculated. I wanted to hit him, so he dodges into the glass, dealing 1 damage. Oh, but the flea is gonna be able to do it. Yeah, you take 1 damage. That's... Yep. That's a start. Yep. Okay, the fact that I'm able to summon a bunch of fuckers is really nice though. It's gonna make me... it's going to swarm him in a way that he can't move. Like, he himself put in a position where he's stuck right now. So let's try to get as much damage in as possible while he is stuck here. Though, yeah, he's going to... No, he doesn't realize yet. Oh, fuck. He does steal mana though, which kind of like... keeps me from dealing as much damage as I want to. Let's spawn 2 pooters. Yes, don't move, guy. Don't go move. Let yourself be swarmed real quick. And if it's like a pooter or a fly that deals the kill shot, that means he's going to get in the fly or pooter, making it like basically like nothing because they're really weak and really easy to kill. So this is, I guess, the best build I could have asked for against him. So that is gonna go. Yeah, that's gonna go. I wished he had dodged towards me, but that's fine. Yeah, hit the rock, my guy. Hit the rock. Go kick rocks. That's the... Oh crap! I wanted to really surround him, but like there was no. Ooh, nice, corner yourself like that. I wish you could corner yourself in the oh no, stop. They're also not controllable, so that means it's a bit harder to make them do exactly what you want, but you can't always get what you want. You know what they say about that, I reckon. Yeah, summon your little guys. They're not gonna be useful here. We are way too much. We are legion, and we do not forgive or forget. Your little cat butt. Even though we are kind of like getting in each other's way here and there. Let's go here. No, you can't go this way. You are surrounded in a lot. Ooh, keep yourself right here, my guy. I think you've. Oh crap! I can summon them every day. That's fine. That's fine, I guess. That is fine, I guess. Yes, keep hitting him. You're hitting yourself by doing so. Nice, my boy. Okay. Unfortunately, he plays here. Oh, but I can... No, I cannot do anything grandiose like spawning next to him and keeping him stuck, as the Germans say. I don't know what they say, why they say that. I think it means like breakfast. Is Frühstück? I mean, it is actually. That's nice. you ran into my attacks. Ooh, you're really keeping yourself like trapped, my guy. You're not really that hard actually. I mean, I guess I have kind of like strength in number type of deal going on, but I was expecting something a bit harder. I'm not gonna lie. You are undead, right? You take damage from healing. Yes, that is quite nice. Keep hitting him, my flies, and he's going to possess. Oh no, never mind. He only possesses my guys, but he possessed the one that is the strongest, unfortunately, which means this is not one. Though he does like release the possessed cat after a while, if you're not able to kill him in time, if I remember well. But I think I should be able to get to him, and the cat doesn't even die. You just get KO'd, but it's the last fight. You don't have to hit the corpse, you know that. Nice. Little fly is coming in clutch, getting him a lot of shield. That's not good. That's not good, guys. Can I still teleport to him? No, he's not considered an ally anymore. Understandable. And that's a misclick and a half right there. You're going to get backstabbed. Good, that fly. That's useless. And you're bringing that to you. Closer to you. In range, one might say. Not quite. Because you still have to move that way. Okay. They don't deal enough damage for it to become really a problem for him. Because, oh my god, keep doing that, I guess. Oh, okay. You're kind of putting yourself in a situation here. I'm not lying. But I'm not complaining either. I'm not complaining. I need this run to end. I'm going to become insane otherwise. This is taking a toll on my mental health. I am become but a shadow of my former self. Let's leave here because I'm not gonna get killed that easily. Oh my god, I love the amount of flies and guys I have and pooters I have on the field right now. This is nice. And the pooters deal just enough damage to slowly whittle him down in a way that is very satisfying to watch. I must say, you only have 1 HP left. My goodness, guy. Oh, guys, I think there's something hanging right there. Quite literally, we're in cemetery, so people are dead here. Okay, now it's a matter of dealing the kill shot. The kill shot is the word, right? the term people use to refer to killing. Yep, you die. That's nice. Yes, go back to hell where you belong, you fucking devil. Okay, so that's nice. That's a nice run. That's very much like the run when I won the caves. It's a team of 3 guys that triumphed over the last boss of Act 1, Level 2. And I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. I cannot obviously get this yet. Maybe biting the artery is gonna do something. I don't remember, to be honest. Okay. Mutation. I don't care. I'm going to give you to Booch, my guy. The focus team returns home. The hunt was a success. That's facts, guys. That's facts. Ooh, the desert. Let me get into Act 2. Oh my god. You know what I mean when I say I keep skipping these accidentally? I'm not even thinking when I do that. Whatever. I'm gonna leave you all here because this is making me quite insane. I will not lie. I will not lie. I am becoming tired and kind of incoherent. So let me open OBS so that I can stop the recording, and bye bye.